Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Lake. I'm with Roadside Development. I welcome everybody here. If you were here about 3.5 years ago when we started construction, you remember it rained on our groundbreaking also. So I guess it's a good symbol or sign. We're here to celebrate a number of things, and we're going to hear from a number of folks. Everyone you're going to hear from had a significant role, but there's a lot of people here in this audience that also had a significant role in bringing this place to life. As everybody knows, we made kind of history today. This used to be Fannie Mae's headquarters building, and it was originally built by Equitable Life Insurance. And since it was originally built, none of us really were allowed to kind of gather on the front lawn. And through the beautiful work of Michael Ferguson and NVLA, his entire team in NVLA, and Shalom Baranis and Associates, this place became a public place. So now this is the public realm. This is the place the kids can come and play, and you can sit and have a picnic, and you can listen to music, and we plan on doing having a lot of fun here. A long time ago, the mayor and I have talked about how do we entice and attract Wegmans to come to the city. They've scattered around us, kind of like staking us out. And we've had a number of conversations with Wegmans throughout the years. So, in a couple days, you can't shop there now, but on the 13th, you'll all be able to shop at the brand new City Ridge Wegmans. This is Roadside's fourth Wegmans. So this is a relationship that we built over the last 15 years. And a lot of conversations here in DC, out in the ICSC, was around how do we build a place? How do we attract this incredible, not only grocery store, but an incredible employer? So we're going to hear from the head of the real estate, Dan Aiken, later on about Wegmans. We're also going to hear from a number of folks, the discussion, basically how this all came to place. So without further ado, I want to welcome the mayor of Washington, D.C., the Honorable Muriel Bowser, who, through her efforts, we are here today. The mayor has done an amazing job through a very difficult period, not only through COVID, but throughout economic development for the city. And Madam Mayor?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am just delighted to be here at City Ridge. I am delighted to see all of you here to help celebrate a very important development in the city. And we know, I was just walking through the Wegmans, the City Ridge Wegmans, the first in Washington, D.C., and I think it's safe to say that it is living up to all the hype. You're going to enjoy shopping there and dining there and getting your catering needs met there. They are bringing 450 jobs, and they just informed me that 75% of those jobs are D.C. residents. So we're very happy about that. Richard, I want to congratulate you, Roadside Development, and Nash. You are building a beautiful community here. We know that at the end there will be 690 new homes for Washingtonians, which brings us closer to our goal of 36,000 new homes by 2025. We were the first in the nation back in 2019 to set a neighborhood by neighborhood goal for building housing in the district. And this project will help us meet some of our Rock Creek West goals. The goal is to build 1,990 additional affordable homes, and this development will bring us 56 units closer to that goal. I want to thank my team at DenPed for working hand in hand with the development community, the retail community, and this community to make sure that this project lives up to your expectations. I also know that you know how focused we are on bringing grocery to the District of Columbia. And frequently people have told me, or I've told them, that we've had just about every type of grocery store that we want. Wegmans was the last. We just don't have every type of grocery store everywhere we want it. So that's why I focus on working with all the retailers on making urban models, because when one is successful in one part of the city, it's so much easier for us to recruit them to all parts of the city. That's just exactly what we did at Skyland Town Center with the opening of a Lidl, what we will do at the St. Elizabeth's campus in Ward 8, what we've been able to do in Ward 5, and all over the District of Columbia. So we'll keep working with the council on our food access to make sure we have the investments to work with great projects and development teams and retailers like we're doing right here at City Ridge. So congratulations to everyone.
So obviously you cannot create a development without money. And you can't do it without having partners who truly understand the mission and the thesis of the overall place. So Tom McKay and I met actually trying to do something together in a different part of the marketplace and became fast friends. When we had an opportunity to bid on this project, I gave Tom a call on my way up from home, driving past the site, and literally he said, give me a day or two. The next day, Tom committed to this project and committed his company to the investing a significant amount of funds to bring this project to fruition. And Tom has been with us throughout the entire process, throughout the entire design phase, throughout the entire conceptualization of the place. And you can't ask for a better partner than having a partner who stands behind you and understands exactly what you're trying to achieve and really makes it that much more pleasant and enjoyable to achieve it. So with that, I'd like to invite Tom McKay of Nash.
Thank you, Richard. Developments like City Ridge require years in the making and the coordinated efforts of many, many people. So it's wonderful to be able to take a moment and celebrate milestones like today. We greatly appreciate the efforts of our partner, Roadside Development, creating the vision for this one-of-a-kind urban village, and and the mayor, the city, and the surrounding neighborhood for your support. We also want to recognize Fannie Mae for embracing our plan in 2016 when they chose to sell the property to us instead of a number of other suitors, and to Wegmans for their early commitment, which was actually even ahead of us. I realize many of you may not be familiar with Sekisui House. We are a global real estate company headquartered in Osaka, Japan. The core of Sekisui House's corporate philosophy is love of humanity, and our global vision is to make home the happiest place in the world. We strive to deliver on that vision by integrating technologies, lifestyle design, and services. We're excited to open City Ridge and hope you agree that our efforts to deliver on that vision were successful here. Thank you.
So you imagine the journey and the coordination and the efforts of bringing everyone together, getting everyone into a shared vision to come together and really pull the oars in the same direction. From the inception of, and I think it was the second or third maybe day that Rob Rocheski of Roadside Development was working for Roadside, that I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, we're going to go after this thing and we're going to get it. And Rob has worked tirelessly throughout the years to make this happen. His thoughtfulness, his approach, his ability to basically bring people together, and everyone in the community knows Rob because Rob is, by the way, you have his personal phone number every time something went wrong. And by the way, keep calling because he's not going anywhere. But Rob has this incredible ability to bring people and manage everyone's expectations to a successful conclusion. He is thoughtful, brilliant, and enormously energetic. So with that, Rob Rocheski.
Thank you, Richard. Frankly, it's an honor and humbling to be able to follow Mayor Bowser and Tom McKay on this stage. We couldn't have asked for better partners to come along on this journey with us, so thank you for your continued support. So I've been a part of the City Ridge journey from the beginning. We bought this property from Fannie Mae in 2016. And if you were to have told me that I'd be standing here today reflecting on what's been an experience of a lifetime, I probably would have been prepared to rattle off all the statistics that make this such a great place. Like the thoughtfulness behind the design and integration of nearly 1.8 million square feet of mixed-use development. The fact that City Ridge is the first LEED Gold neighborhood in the DC area and only the second in the country. How we moved 75-foot tall heritage trees to this lawn where we're gathered here today. Or maybe how we held up a National Historic Landmark building to excavate out a new foundation to make way for Wegmans store. And no doubt, these are all amazing accomplishments. But when it comes down to it, what I'm most proud of and grateful for are all of the countless people I've connected with along the way on this journey. And it all starts with Roadside and my colleagues there and our partners at Nash, who were bold enough to shape and manage the vision for what City Ridge has become. It's our elected leaders who supported the vision, from Mayor Bowser to the DC council members and our local ANC representatives, Angela Bradbury and Adam Hoyt. And then we have hundreds of designers and consultants who captured and refined that vision. And they rolled with us with all of our crazy ideas. And trust me, there were tons of crazy ideas. And then thousands of construction workers who put in over 3 million hours worth of work to build this place. That's a staggering 342 years worth of work. And all of this done during a global pandemic, an unthinkable feat. And then now we have our management teams at Futero and at Roadside who are tasked with ensuring that the experience at City Ridge is the best that it can be. But those connections extend beyond just the confines of the City Ridge property. It goes out to the community, to the group of volunteers that I've been fortunate to work with in Glover Archambault Park, where we've been removing invasive plants, restoring the trail network. All of our neighbors in McLean Gardens in Ward 3 who've been part of the planning of this project from the beginning, and frankly, patiently endured 4 years of construction with us. And in these times where we're in the thick of opening up a place of this magnitude, it's sometimes hard to step back and see the forest for the trees. So what I tend to do is I draw on all of these relationships that have gotten us to this place. And it reminds me that we are building places for people to gather and be together. And so it's my hope that that sense of connection carries on as City Ridge becomes a part of the broader DC community. So I invite all of you, keep coming back, come find a rooftop, watch the 4th of July fireworks, let your kids play in the splash pad, take a date out to dinner, meet the amazing team at Wegmans, or simply just come and be here. And I would be remiss, and if you'd like to rent an apartment, we'd be okay with that too. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. So this journey started a long, long time ago with a gentleman named Ralph Futero, who was kind enough after his retirement to come and say hi to everybody. Ralph was here at the groundbreaking, and I just can't say enough about Ralph and Dan and the entire team at Wegmans. So Ralph, thank you. You know, I'm going to kind of introduce Dan Aiken, who's stepping into Ralph's shoes and has been with Wegmans for a number of years, and we've got to know Dan very well. But I think this email I received from a neighbor, I think, says it all. It says, "Dear Richard, welcome to the neighborhood and all the best as you celebrate City Ridge's opening and the opening of Wegmans. You met my mother, Marie, at the groundbreaking, and while my mother died last year at 100 plus, I know she is smiling and cheering you on, as is my grandfather, Ted Powell, having sold meat to Walter and Jack and later Robert. Those are all Wegmans folks in the 1920s, and over so many decades in Rochester. Although I am in Buffalo for a family celebration for my mom's life at the time of your opening, I look forward to being a regular customer on my return. Also on my return, the week of July 18th, I'll look for the opportunity to see one of the barrier-free units that she can come live in. So we're very excited about that. So Rob, you may have a customer. As a senior, I can't imagine anything more wonderful than to be able to live next door and to have Wegmans as my neighbor. Bringing projects like City Ridge and the new Wegmans to successful fruition is an extraordinary achievement. Congratulations to you and your entire team, and wishing every good thing for this and your next endeavors. So I can't say it, when the community takes hold and takes ownership of your places, you win. So with that, I want to introduce Dan Aiken, who has been an absolute pleasure to work together with his entire team, construction team, design team, marketing team that Dan oversees, to bring Wegmans to DC.
Thank you, Richard. Good afternoon. So we're finally here. I think it's been about 15 years in the making. We've been looking, and at the persistence of the mayor and Keith Sellers with Economic Partnership, we finally found a place that we could really embrace and we felt could work for us. So that is City Ridge. It has been hundreds of hours working with the roadside team and their design partners, trying to figure out how we take a big box and fit it into this destination. It's a lot smaller than what we're accustomed to. All of our mechanical systems are incredibly complex and difficult, and standing on this lawn, you cannot see a single one of them, which is a testament to the excellent design quality of Richard and his team. Kevin Russell's our store manager. A little over 400 employees in there, and they have embraced the community. They've already given back a little over $350,000 to the community and earmarked that to other projects that they're involved in, and we just could not be happier to be here. Wednesday we open. We welcome all of you, so hopefully we will see you in there, and we certainly thank you for being here today. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Dan. So I just wanted to say a few words about my team, the pleasure I have of getting up every day and working with some of the most thoughtful, creative people. Jeff Edelstein, whose fingerprints are pretty much everywhere you see, to the leasing, his retail leasing prowess, to the placemaking, to even materiality choices. Paul Kaminsky, who has worked tirelessly to make sure that every inch of this place is adhered to the original plans. Brian Corcoran, who actually had the crazy idea of holding up a 100,000 square foot building while we dug it underneath it to allow Wegmans to literally slide in feet first, to allow us basically to create this place and preserve this lawn. Everyone in roadside, through Mike Fullen, making sure the bills got paid, Christine Lopez, Brian Rivera, Jenny and Angel and Isis to help make this event, quite frankly, take place. And Jenny's got the huge task of basically managing this environment and managing us. Really, let's be honest. Our journey at Roadside started over 25 years ago, and I just wanted to recognize Todd Weiss, who is my long-term partner, started as a client. Todd doesn't always stand behind the mic and take a lot of credit for a lot of things, but we wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without Todd. And I just want to thank Todd for everything he does for Roadside and what he's done for me personally. So about 5 years ago, when we first acquired this property, and we brought Robert Sponsoa from Shaw and Braun Associates originally to the site, we started to arrange a team. We decided we wanted landscaping to be a big part of the place. We didn't want landscaping to respond to the buildings. We wanted them to have an equal seat. And so we were lucky enough, fortunate enough, to bring Michael Ferguson. Michael's right there, who is one of the world-renowned landscape architects, and we just happened to be lucky enough that he's local. Michael showed up to our first meeting with a hand sketch of this building and this front lawn to depict what he believed would be the gem of the entire project. So of course it was natural for Michael to basically design all the public realms associated. So if you walk down the beautiful streets and you see the gorgeous gardens that are tucked behind this historic building, which if you haven't, please do that before you leave. They're special. All that thoughtfulness comes out of NVLA, and an incredible brains that they have, and thoughtfulness and caring about moving heritage trees to the front lawn so we can instantaneously create a place. Parker Rodriguez is our landscape architect for all of our rooftops and our private realm, so all the courtyards around the residential. And then ADG is a local interior design company, and Saccone Simone is out of Toronto, another interior design company. If you think about the army of designers and thoughtfulness that comes in place here, so I want to applaud Shalom Baran Associates for bringing such a great, wonderful place to life. We get the benefit of working with such creative, talented people. So I just want to thank Nicholas and everybody at SBA. So if you know our City Market project, we did a huge public art piece on P Street. And I got to meet this next gentleman who's going to speak, who's really the star of the show, Zachary Oxman. Zach is a Washingtonian, grew up in the Washington area, and he has built some of the most magnificent, thoughtful art pieces in the entire country, throughout the country. He has created gifts for presidents to give to dignitaries throughout the world, and we are just thrilled that every once in a while somebody will actually listen to a crazy idea and make it come to life. Zach's creativity, his thoughtfulness, and I really do think his thoughtfulness comes from his wife Jana, but don't tell that to Zach. But anyways, I just want to welcome Zach, and we're going to be doing an unveiling soon. So after Zach speaks, we're going to walk over and unveil the new beautiful work of art that Zach has brought to this community. Zach?
Thank you so much, Richard. That was very, very nice. So, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out to celebrate the grand opening of City Ridge today. And despite the weather, and the clouds have cooperated with us, so thank you to the skies as well. And I'd love to thank you, Mayor, for joining us and celebrating today as well. And a very, very special thank you to Richard Lake and his stellar team at Roadside Development for entrusting me to create this work of art for a unique city project in a community called City Ridge. It has been more than 5 years since Richard first approached me about this project, and a lot certainly happened over those 5 years. It was as construction of City Ridge and the design of this sculpture started hitting high gear when we were all blindsided by the COVID pandemic. Richard and I had many conversations about the tragedy and the heroism of the moment and how that might be incorporated in this work of art. Richard knew that he wanted the City Ridge sculpture to not only pay homage to this profound moment in our country, but to also embody an enduring message that celebrates the best in our humanity, to nurture. To nurture is the continuous act of caring for and encouraging. To nurture is to comfort, to embrace, to hold dear, to nurse, to nourish, to teach, to uplift, and to cherish. This would inspire the title of this sculpture, Nurture. Now, since you haven't seen the sculpture yet, I'll use words to paint a picture of what you're about to see when the curtain falls. These virtues of nurture are manifested in a sculptural form rising up from the earth. A human hand, an iconic symbol of touch, making that palpable connection when one person reaches out to support another. Held high in a delicate embrace, the hand cradles a sapling, a symbol of both at once fragility and great potential. And over a complex internal structure of stainless steel, the sculpture is a patchwork of bronze panels, each one unique. This is us, like a quilt of humanity joining together. Our hope is that as time moves along, this sculpture will provide a moment to reflect on and to remember the countless acts of nurture during such trying times as the pandemic has cast. But also to be a beacon to the wisdom that within our lives, our country, and for that matter, the world, there is a fragility, but it's a fragility that is full of such awesome potential. Let us each embrace the act of nurture to ensure that all of that potential may come to being. And with that, I thank you all again so much for coming.